Commander Jack Harper surveyed the alien landscape from his makeshift observation post atop a jagged cliff face. The twin moons of Zeta Reticuli IV hung low on the horizon, casting an eerie blue glow across the fog-shrouded valleys below. Somewhere out there, amid the twisted flora of this godforsaken world, the enemy was waiting. 6 months had passed since the 23rd Terran Marine Expeditionary Unit crash-landed on this desolate rock. What should have been a routine insertion to bolster the defenses of a fledgling human colony had turned into a desperate fight for survival when their troop carrier was ambushed by Kraxan warships in high orbit. Of the 1,200 men who'd begun the mission, barely 300 remained. Those who survived the crash found themselves stranded behind enemy lines on a planet now firmly under Kraxan control. The alien invaders had overwhelmed the small colonial militia in a matter of days, enslaving the civilian population and strip mining the world's resources to fuel their war machine. With no way to contact Earth and limited supplies, Harper and his ragtag band of survivors had been forced to adapt. They'd gone native, learning to live off the land and scavenge what they could from their alien environment. More importantly, they'd learned how to fight dirty. Sitrep Harper barked as his XO, Major Chen, clambered up to join him on the ledge. Chen handed over a weathered pair of macro binoculars. Kraxan supply convoys, sir. 12 heavy haulers with a full armored escort. They're following the valley floor, headed toward the main refinery complex. Harper studied the lumbering vehicles through the optics. Despite their imposing size, the Kraxan walkers were ill-suited for the treacherous terrain. Their 6 spindly legs constantly probed for stable footing amid the loose scree and patches of razor-sharp crystal formations native to this world. A predatory grin spread across the commander's face. Looks like Christmas came early this year, Major. Signal the men Operation Pitfall is a go. Chen nodded and keyed his encrypted comm unit, relaying Harper's orders to the scattered strike teams hidden throughout the valley. Within minutes, muffled detonations echoed across the rocky slopes as carefully placed demolition charges triggered a series of landslides. Caught in the deadly crossfire of tumbling boulders and crystalline shards, the Kraxan convoy ground to a halt. Panicked alien voices screeched over unsecured comms as the quick-thinking human guerrillas launched their assault. From concealed fighting positions, Marine snipers armed with salvaged mass drivers opened fire. The hypervelocity slugs punched through Kraxan armor like tissue paper, rupturing vital systems and spreading chaos through the enemy ranks. Weapons-free, Harper bellowed as he hefted his own rifle. "Give em hell, boys." The night exploded into frenzied violence. Marines emerged from hidden tunnels and crevices, swarming over the pinned-down Kraxan forces like angry ants. Their jury-rigged powered armor, a mishmash of scavenged parts and alien tech, gave the humans a decisive edge in close-quarters combat. Sergeant Rico Vasquez led the charge, his armor's external speakers blaring heavy metal as he waded into the fray. The big Puerto Rican moved with preternatural grace, ducking under wild swings from Kraxan shock troops and retaliating with devastating counterstrikes. "Simon, you apes," Vasquez roared. "You want to live forever." Inspired by the sergeant's fearless example, the Marines redoubled their efforts. They fought with the desperate fury of men with nothing left to lose, their unrelenting assault slowly overwhelming the Kraxan defenses. From his vantage point, Harper coordinated the attack with cold precision. He directed mortar fire to suppress enemy strong points and shifted reserves to plug gaps in the human battle line. Years of hard-won experience had honed the commander's tactical instincts to a razor's edge. As the tide of battle turned decisively in humanity's favor, Harper allowed himself a moment of grim satisfaction. This was why they'd survived when so many others had perished. This ragtag band of brothers had forged themselves into something greater, a force of nature that would not be denied. The Kraxan never stood a chance. In the aftermath of the ambush, the Marines worked quickly to salvage every scrap of useful material from the ruined convoy. Precious food stores, medical supplies, and ammunition were distributed among the men. But the real prize was the wealth of military intelligence contained in the Kraxan computer cores. As the data streamed across improvised display screens, Harper felt a surge of hope for the first time in months. The Kraxan weren't just strip mining this backwater world, they were constructing a massive tachyon cannon capable of obliterating entire star systems. If the weapon became operational, it would tip the balance of the war decisively in the aliens' favor. But now, armed with this crucial intelligence, Harper and his men had a chance to stop it. "All right, gentlemen," Harper addressed his gathered officers. I won't lie to you, what I'm proposing is nothing short of suicide. We'll be outnumbered, outgunned, and deep in the heart of enemy territory. But if we can take out that cannon, we just might save the entire human race." He paused, studying the resolute faces of the men he'd come to see as family. "I can't order you on this mission, but I'm asking for volunteers." Without hesitation, every Marine in the underground bunker stepped forward. Sergeant Vasquez summed up the collective sentiment with a savage grin. "Hoorah, sir. Let's go crack some bugs." Over the next grueling weeks, the Marines pushed themselves to the limit as they prepared for their desperate gambit. They drilled relentlessly, honing their skills and refining their tactics. Every scrap of intel was pored over, searching for any advantage they could exploit. Their resident tech guru, Corporal Aidan O'Alley, worked miracles with their limited resources. The wiry Irishman's fingers flew across makeshift circuit boards as he jury-rigged a dizzying array of electronic countermeasures and infiltration tools. "I can't promise miracles," O'Alley groused. "But these little beauties should at least give us a fighting chance of getting inside undetected." D-Day arrived all too soon. Under the cover of a raging ion storm, 5 stealth dropships screamed across the Kraxan defensive perimeter at treetop level. Salvage cloaking tech and O'Alley's electronic wizardry kept them off the alien sensors long enough to touch down less than a click from the cannon facility. Harper led Alpha Team straight up the gut, relying on speed and audacity to punch through the outer defenses before the Kraxan could mount an effective response. Vasquez and Bravo Team created chaos with a series of diversionary attacks, stretching the alien defenders to the breaking point. Meanwhile, O'Alley and a hand-picked squad of demo experts used the confusion to infiltrate the facility's lower levels. Their objective: locate the cannon's main reactor and turn it into a very large, very deadly bomb. For 3 harrowing hours, the Marines fought tooth and nail through the twisting corridors of the alien stronghold. They paid for every meter of ground with blood and lives, but failure was not an option. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. In the central control room, Harper faced off against the Kraxan War Master in single combat. The alien leader was a horrifying sight, 3 meters of corded muscle and chitinous armor bristling with lethal weaponry. But after everything they'd endured to reach this point, Harper refused to back down. The 2 warriors clashed in a furious melee, their battle raging across catwalks and computer banks as Kraxan reinforcements attempted to breach the sealed blast doors. Harper's powered armor amplified his strength and speed, but the alien's natural weapons still inflicted grievous wounds through the armored shell. Staggering from blood loss, Harper found himself pinned against a shattered view screen. The War Master's mandibles clicked in alien triumph as it prepared to deliver the coup de grace. But in that moment of desperation, Harper remembered everything they'd sacrificed to reach this point. He thought of Earth, of home, of all that would be lost if he failed now. With a defiant roar, Harper surged forward. He caught the War Master's descending claw and wrenched it aside, ignoring the searing pain as alien ichor ate through his gauntlet. Before the creature could recover, Harper drove his combat knife up through a gap in its armor with every ounce of strength he had left. The War Master's death scream shook the entire facility. As the alien's corpse collapsed, Harper staggered to the main control terminal. His vision swam as his fingers flew across the alien interface, enacting the final stage of their plan. "Oh, Ollie," he wheezed into his comm. "Please tell me you're ready to light this candle." The Irishman's voice came back tinny and distorted. "Reactors rigged and ready to blow, Commander. But there's a wee problem with the remote detonator. Someone's going to have to stay behind and set it off manually." Harper closed his eyes, a weary smile tugging at his bloodied lips. "Understood, Corporal. Get our boys to the extraction point. I'll take care of the rest." "But, sir..." "That's an order, O'Alley. It's been an honor serving with you all. Now go, that's my final command." Harper severed the comm link and slumped against the console. He could hear the Kraxan reinforcements finally breaking through the barricaded doors. But it didn't matter now. Nothing did except completing the mission. As alien weapons fire ricocheted around him, Harper inputted the final command sequence. The facility's reactor went critical, and a blinding white light consumed everything. 12 hours later, Chin stared in disbelief at the flickering holographic display. Long-range sensors showed a massive energy discharge from the Zeta Reticuli system, an explosion large enough to be visible from 3 sectors away. The Kraxan tachyon cannon and a significant portion of their invasion fleet had been utterly annihilated. In the space of a day, The entire momentum of the war had shifted. Chen felt a lump form in his throat as he thought of Harper and the others who had sacrificed everything to make this victory possible. Somehow, against all odds, a handful of stranded Marines had changed the course of history. Squaring his shoulders, Chen turned to address the haggard survivors of the 23rd. I know we've lost good men, the best humanity had to offer, but because of their sacrifice, we've been given a second chance. The Kraxen are on the back foot, and it's time to take the fight to them. A chorus of fierce agreement met his words. These men had been forged in the crucible of an alien hell. They'd lost everything except each other and their burning desire to make the enemy pay. Chen allowed himself a cold smile. The Kraxen had no idea what was coming for them. Saddle up, Marines, he barked. We're taking our planet back.